That's brand new from the Vamps, a song called Can We Dance. This is Takeover Radio 106.9 FM. It's time for our brand new feature. Would I lie to you, Craig? Rose, would you lie to me?
I don't know, but here we go. I kissed Leo Sayer on the same night that I met David Essex and the Osmonds.
Right, okay.
Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
Immediately my thought would be lie.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you'd have said, like, you kissed Leo Sayer,
Yep.
I might have been, you might have met him at the tube station or something like that, but to say that you met him on the same night you met, like, Donny Osmond and so many other people.
Not the Osmonds.
The Osmonds. All of them, not just Donny.
Not all of them, but Donny wasn't there, actually.
Right, okay.
But, yeah.
Oh, I don't know whether to believe it.
You can ask me a few questions if you want, you know.
Where?
In Nottingham.
Why did you want to kiss that guy?
Why was Leo Sayer in Nottingham?
He was doing a tour there.
Okay, where was he playing?
At the O2 Arena.
In Nottingham?
About 3 years ago.
He was playing at the O2 Arena in Nottingham?
With the Osmonds and David Essex.
So just to confirm, he was playing at the O2 Arena, which is in Nottingham?
I think it's the O2. Where the Ice Arena is, in Nottingham. That is the O2 Arena, is it not? Isn't it? Well, that place there, where you can go ice skating, I'm sure that's the O2 Arena.
No,
I'm going to see Miranda there.
It's the name which we can't reveal on air for copyright reasons.
Okay.
No, it's definitely not the O2. No, it's not the O2.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think my immediate thought would be that you are lying.
Are you sure you don't want to ask me any other questions?
Doro, do you want to throw anything in? Do you want to say something?
Did I kiss him on the lips, on the cheek,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the forehead,
yeah.
you know? He kissed me on the cheek.
Why would he kiss you? Out of all those people, why would he pick you to kiss?
Because I am...
Not saying that you're not, you know...
Yeah, thanks. No. I'm a big Leo Sayer fan. And we were near the front, and he came off stage down the side and was going back round, and I shouted at the top of my voice, Leo Sayer, I'm your youngest fan. And he laughed and he came over and he gave me a kiss on the cheek.
I can actually picture that.
Do you know what? You might, with that, you just swung me to true. Oh, God.
But am I lying?
I know.
Is it all make-believe?
Right, okay, so, I might believe a bit about you meeting him and shouting that, because during that whole game, right, I'd have thought, like, Ollie Murs, Robbie, and stuff like that was popular music, and you didn't know who any of them were, so that might help me out a bit here, but on the same night like you met the Osmonds...
Yes, right. Well, I didn't meet the Osmonds or Dave. I think I phrased that wrong. They were there.
Just pick yourself up now, aren't you?
They were there. I met Leo Sayer, and I have met David Essex, but not the Osmonds. But they were there because they were on stage when Leo Sayer kissed me.
Why did you? Right. So they were on stage. They were there, but they were on stage and they weren't performing.
Yeah, they were performing. All three of them. It was like It was like they did a gig together. They did a big tour in the UK.
Doro, any more that you want to throw in? I think my mind's made up now. Any more questions that you want to throw in?
No.
So just recap what your story is.
Okay, I kissed Leo Sayer on the same night I met David Essex, and the Osmonds were playing as well.
But you just said a minute ago that the Osmonds weren't playing.
No, they were playing. I definitely said that they were playing on stage at the time when Leo Sayer kissed me.
Why were you backstage when they were?
I wasn't backstage.
Right,
where have you been? So why weren't you on stage?
I was at the front of the stage.
So, let me establish this. The Osmonds were performing on stage, yes or no?
Yes.
One word, yes.
Yes.
Leo Sayer came down off of stage, walked around like singers do, and...
I can actually hear you shouting while the other one...
Because I ran up to there was like a metal gate.
Yeah, there is. I've been to a few gigs.
It was one of those gigs where it was a sit-down gig. And people were stood up, but most people were sat down. So it wasn't a big, everyone shoving to the front.
Yeah.
I probably was the youngest there by about 30 years. And so I dragged my mum, and because I go to gigs with my mum, and ran to the stage.
What I don't understand is, was Leo Sayer performing at the time? Was he singing?
Not at the time. He'd just come off stage. He was basically Leo Sayer was the first to perform. Well, there was a tribute act. I don't know who they were, and then it was Leo Sayer, and then it was the Osmonds, and then it was David Essex. I think that was the order. Basically, Leo Sayer just finished he sang about 6 songs.
But they don't come down into the audience and go to the dressing room. They go off backstage.
It wasn't. It was like down a side step. and there was like 2 metal fences and bodyguards and stuff, and it's coming off the side step and then round. So he didn't come into the audience. There was 2 like gates between us.
Right, I am going to give my verdict now. I think I know.
Okay. I won't give you the answer till after you play the next song.
How can you kiss you over 2 gates?
It was
they're only like knee high.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
It was like it came up to my hips.
Yeah, well, you're only about 2 foot tall.
5 foot.
And the rest. Yeah, okay. Nah. I personally think that you are lying because I don't believe that an artist, when they finish their act, would come down into the audience to go to the dressing room. They would go off the stage at the back. Okay?
You definitely
and I don't see how those 3 people would fit, and I don't know why they'd be performing at this Pacific Arena, because that's more for bigger gigs. I think that they perform somewhere smaller, like the Royal Concert Hall or something. So for now, I am going to say lie.
Okay.
If you guys think you know at home, let us know on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll reveal the answer after we've had music from Rihanna. This is Only Girl in the World. It's just coming up to 2 o'clock. This is Takeover Radio live online and on 106.9. Answer to Would I Lie to You, Craig? Most probably would. Is on the way for you next. Rihanna with Only Girl in the World here on Takeover Radio 106.9, where right now we're playing Would I Lie to You, Craig? I personally believe that Rose was lying, but before we reveal the answer, Rose, recap your story.
I kissed Leo Sayer on the same night that I met David Essex and the Osmonds were playing, all in the same night, so they all played a gig together.
My guess was lie, because I thought that you tripped yourself up a little bit too much. You called it the O2 Arena.
That was, yeah.
You said that, you know, the Osmonds performed on stage while you kissed him and why he walked off. I don't believe that he walked off into the crowd.
He didn't walk off into the crowd, though. He walked off the steps or at the side of the stage, and then between the crowd there's quite a big gap, a bouncer and 2 small silver like fence things.
Oh. I'm going to say lie. Reveal the answer.
Are you ready for the answer? Yeah. Drum roll, please. Anyone? I was telling the truth, I am afraid, Craig. Genuinely, I've found the truth. That is my biggest claim to fame story right there for you.
Yeah, alright, Pinocchio, prove it.
We'll ring my mother later. She was there. She can tell you all. I think my mum was gobsmacked, to be honest. I ran off and did it. Okay,
shall we turn the tables and play Would I Lie to You, Rose?
Yes.
Okay. We were talking about it earlier on, and I didn't say anything then. So there's a bit of a clue there. Before I got into radio, I was quite into acting. We've talked about this before.
Yep.
I auditioned for the first series of Skins and got down to the final 5.
Right. Okay. Am I allowed to ask you questions now?
Yeah, ask away.
Okay. Which did you say the first series of Skins?
First generation, yeah.
So how old were you then?
14.
14? Okay.
Yeah, because it was under 16s. You couldn't audition if you were between 14 and 18. You couldn't audition.
Right.
Okay. Like either side of those age, and I was just turned 14 when they started casting.
Where did the audition take place?
Bristol.
And how many people auditioned?
Oh God, there was about 300 in the final. It kind of went in rounds. There was quite a lot at the start. There was about 1,000 at the start.
Yeah.
It got whittled down, and the one in Bristol had about 300, and everybody got sent home during the day and what have you. Like, it was that kind of thing where, you know, like, you stand in a line and they say, you've not been successful if I tap you on the shoulder. And I was genuinely stood there, and the producers and the writers were there, and they just didn't tap me on the shoulder.
That's quite a cruel way to say. It's like a game of duck and goose, but
it is, but it's the way they did it. And I was expecting a tap on the shoulder, and it never came, and I got down to 25.
So, was there a role, or a certain member of cast you were?
Sid.
For Sid.
Yeah.
I can see that, actually. It's becoming more believable as we go along.
Yeah, it's for Sid.
Right, okay. So how come you didn't get it?
Because the other guy was better than me. I don't think they was looking for a ginger, to be honest, but I think they was looking for somebody that was a bit more mature, because at 14 I was very young, and my appearance was very young. I'm not quite, I didn't look as old as what I probably do.
Yeah.
And you know.
But you see, what the concern, from my point of view here, Craig, is that Skins is it's for older teenagers. Some of the material is quite sensitive.
But the character in question, Sid,
yes.
of course, was one of the characters that he didn't know a lot about at first. It took a lot of time to work him out. Like, for example, the guy that ended up going into Britannia High, with Maxie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was quite outlandish, dancey, and stuff like that. And, you know, that was a quite well-known character. Tony was the main lead in there as well. He was Sid's best friend.
Yep.
He was, you know, was a lad's lad, got all the girls, but Sid was the quiet, the shy one, the one who you couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
okay,
yeah.
but I'm still, you know, as a 14-year-old, you'd be reading this script.
Yeah.
With sensitive material, lots of swearing and
Yeah.
cruel, evil doings on the script. For a 14-year-old to even be allowed...
I was the youngest of the final five.
So, did you actually meet Sid then? Was he there that day of the audition?
The guy who ended up playing him?
Yeah.
Oh, his name
Did you
slips
meet
my mind
him?
now. Yeah, he was there.
Was he a nice guy?
Yeah, very nice, yeah. we actually swapped numbers and we were talking for a long while after it, yeah.
So we could ring him now and ask if it's true?
No, not now, I don't have his number now. That's like, this is about 3 phones ago.
Okay.
No, he was like, I think he was from around Derby way.
Right, okay.
So he was quite close to me. We'd worked together quite a lot in the workshops. It was a lot of workshopping at first. We kind of paired up and, yeah, we got talking for a bit and then Skins took off and was famous and that was
then
it.
he left you behind?
Yeah, left me behind, yeah. Thanks a lot for that, pal.
Okay, can you play a song while I have a think about this?
I can. What would you like? Please let it be the one that's on the screen.
Yeah, the one...
Because that's going to be awkward if it's not.
Yes, is that... I'm struggling to read from here. Is that the McFly song?
It is.
One for the radio, by
Indeed,
McFly.
great song, by the way. Turn it up and we'll have the answer to Would I Lie to You, Rose, on the way for you next. McFly with One for the Radio on Takeover 106.9 FM. Welcome back to the Friday show with me, Craig Priest. Rose in the studio with me, and right now we're playing our brand new game for today only, and maybe in the future as well. Would I Lie to You, Rose? I said that I, in my teenage days, at 14 years old, got down to the final 5 to play the character Sid in the series Skins. Rose, we've been chatting. You've been asking me a few questions off air. We've been chatting. You're genuinely stumped, aren't you?
I am. I'm swaying towards a certain... I'm not going to give it away. I'm swaying towards a certain answer. But my concern just comes from the fact that I can't imagine a 14-year-old being allowed to play the role of... I mean, how old was Sid? Is he 18 in that?
I think it was college, wasn't it? So 16, 17,
16, 17. And it's just... It is quite sensitive material. And I wouldn't want poor young 14-year-old Craig to be exposed to all those things.
Okay. Do you think it'd help if I told you the reasons why I was picked?
Go on then.
Not only was it done on acting, it was also done on type of background.
Right.
And what kind of the stuff that you've been into, you know, at home and stuff.
Okay.
And it's a bit... I don't want to say it in too many harsh words, but at home, like when I was growing up, especially at one household, it was a very tough, violent environment. I was used to a lot of things going off which shouldn't have been going off. I had to deal with a lot of pressures. At school, as you can imagine, I wasn't the kind of guy that was outlandish and brash like the character of Tony was, and I kind of fitted into the niche that they wanted for the character. So that's part of the reason why I was chosen.
Okay. And you got down to, was it the final 5?
Final 5, yeah.
Out of about 300?
Yeah. It was a massive workshop and they'd lined us all up, and one by one throughout the day they said no thank you or whatever, and it got down to about 15 then when they did the tap your shoulder, and he said, if we tap you on the shoulder we don't want you to come back, but thank you very much for for participating. I was genuinely expecting to be tapped on the shoulder and I wasn't.
So did a parent or guardian take you?
No, my drama teacher did.
Your drama teacher did. So how did your drama teacher push you forward for the audition, or did you find it yourself?
Well, as I said, at school I was bullied quite a lot, and I was thrown out of a lot of lessons for either being a little bit violent or along those lines, swearing at teachers and stuff. I don't condone it whatsoever, kids, but drama was the one thing that I was really good at, and me and a good friend of mine called Richard Hayes, who's a big friend of mine. I don't really speak to him a lot now because we obviously lost touch, but we kind of had a bit of a double act going along. And my drama teacher said, you two would be really good at going for it. And Rich, he wasn't up for it. He's a big lad, 6'6". He's more into his games than drama, but he just enjoyed it. We just enjoyed the laugh. And I kind of found myself through drama, and my drama teacher obviously spotted it, and it was my best subject at school.
Right.
And he said, first you have to send in a tape.
Right, okay.
So we did that. It was a tape of me and Rich doing, I think it was Shakespeare, actually. It was Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I know, 2 guys doing Romeo and Juliet. To be fair, it did work. It was hilarious. We did Macbeth as well, that had even more hilarious
really?
concerts. That's the story for another day.
I'd like to see these tapes.
Trust me, I'll burn them. But yeah, we did that, sent it off, and you know, he said that they've got back and said they want you to go to the big audition in Bristol, and off we went.
So, where was Skins filmed?
Bristol.
So, would you have had to? How would you have worked on set? And would you have to be out of school?
Yeah, it was done over a course of, I think, 8 weeks in the end, down in Bristol. Those that were still at school were being offered, like, you know, a couple of days here and there away from filming, because it was filmed in blocks. So the episodes didn't run concurrently. It's a bit like Waterloo Road's filmed. It was filmed... we had set days where those that were still at school had days off for learning, so they'd already sorted all that out.
Okay, I think you've actually swayed me with my answer, but I'm trying to judge you on facial expressions, and I'm thinking, would Craig lie to me?
I think I'm an honest guy.
But then you say that now, you just make me think you're lying. Is he trying to trick me? But you've given me a lot of background.
Honestly, drama was my favourite subject at school. We did this videotape, we sent it in, we went down to the auditions, got down to the final 5, and in the end I didn't get picked.
And you had the guy that played Sid, you had his number in your mobile phone. You had a mobile phone at 14?
Yeah. Of course I did.
Okay.
It was only a Nokia 3310 or whatever it was back in the...
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what a game that is.
I'm going off the point here.
Exactly, but no, as part of the workshops, you had to... At first, you had to come up with a 5-minute, like, play with a group of 5, then it got whittled down in your groups, and then you went down to double acts, and me and him, we worked together throughout the whole thing, got down to the final 5 together, and he got chosen, I didn't.
Okay, was you bitter about that?
I was very, very disappointed.
Did you delete his number out of your phone?
No. I was very disappointed, and obviously it took a long time to get over, but it was one of those moments where, as I said, you know, I was a very unhappy child at school where I got chucked out of a lot of lessons, I didn't focus, and to be honest, at that point in my life, not a lot would have happened, and people would have said he'll end up in prison or end up, you know, just...
But you're not, you're on Takeover Radio.
There you go. But, you know, it was that point in my life where this rejection kind of spurred me on a little bit. It was a horrible process to go through and a real horrible thing to experience, but it just made me kick on and realise that what I wanted to do was something performing and something like that, and it just kicked me on.
I think I've got my answer. Do you want to hear it now? Or we...
No, let's hear it now. Let's hear it now.
I'm going to go now. You've swayed me. At first, I thought you were lying. Okay. Because the bit about having his number, that was a bit... And the fact that you were 14. But now I think you are telling the truth. Oh, no.
Yes! Oh, yes!
You've given me so much background story.
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was... At no point did I ever audition for the series Skins, or did I get down to the final 5, or did I end up talking to the guy that I mentioned played Sid. That never ever happened, but I'll be totally honest with you, all the stuff about being in trouble at school was completely true. Yeah,
well, that sounded very true, and that sort of swayed me.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. I am the better lie than Rose. I don't know whether that's actually a good thing or a bad thing now, thinking about it. But
yeah, but you guessed mine as a lie when it was true.
So we're both wrong.
We both scored a big 0.
Big fat 0. But tell you what, I've had so much fun playing this game. Fun. We need to do it again, don't we?
Yes, we do a regular thing.
Exactly. Tell you what, we'll have a bit of TV news, and if we can think of another one between the two of us, we might do that before 3 o'clock. Right, this is Takeover Radio 106.9, live online and on 106.9, where we have figured out that Rose did kiss a guy called Leo Sayer, and I did not audition, or get down to the final 5, or become best friends with the guy who played Sid in Skins. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back after this from the Goo Goo Dolls. It's brand new. It's called Rebel Beats.